Hello YouTube and Cold Steel Nation. So today we have another test with the 4034 Kukri Plus by Cold Steel, and I just put a fresh edge on it, and I'm going to do an antler chop test today. So this is a deer antler split that I got from a local pet store, so you can see the split, and I have duct taped it on a piece of magazine so that way I'm away from the edge as I'm chopping. And so I just put a fresh edge on this Kukri, and so I want to prove that with this piece of magazine paper. So magazine paper, that was horrible. Okay, so good edge, and let's also look at some hair. Can you see that?
Hang on, I think you can see it.
So it's slicing paper just fine. It's cutting hair, or shaving hair, I should say. And so what I'm going to do is a antler chop, and I'm going to do it from the style with Forged in Fire from the History Channel, Jay Nielsen. He takes competitors' blades and he chops it 7 times into a deer antler, and you can see that clip right now. Recently, Joe X had an extraordinary video where he tested a 3V Tanto, and he just went to town on that thing. It was very impressive. I'm not going to do that, but I do want to do a Forged in Fire chop with this. And so we've tested the blade. I have my field sharpener, and depending on how much damage happens, I want to see if it still shaves, I want to see if it still cuts paper, and if it's not doing those things, I will see if I can get it back in shape. But there's a possibility this thing could really, this antler could take a big, huge chip out of the Kukri. And if that happens, I'm not going to use this. But Austin, what's your predictions?
I think it's going to be all right. I mean, we've seen Sam Mai fail with deer bone, and but I don't know. I think this is going to be tougher than Sam Mai when it comes to impact.
So let's go. Austin is at a angle, and so I'm going to chop at this angle, and we're going to go for it. 7 chops. Wow.
Let me focus. Don't move it.
The Sam Mai Trailmaster did not do that.
Yeah, I can see it now. Now you can. It looks good.
It looks good. Let's get it off. That's right here. I want you to come in. See that deer antler? I laid it in pretty heavy. Maybe not as heavy as Jay Nielsen, but I think I did pretty good. And I actually got, also you can see some antler chips as well. So the edge looks good. Let's give it hand strap. And we hit that sweet spot several times. Let's see where we're at. That's a pretty clean cut. I do have to be honest, it's not as clean as it was at first, but that is a very good result as far as the paper.
Yeah. What steel is that again?
4034, and some people doubted my other test, and so I uploaded the raw footage. I'm probably going to upload edited footage and then raw footage as well, because people are going to doubt this. All right, let's see what happens. I'm a little nervous. Let's see.
I can see the hair being cut.
And it's still shaving all in that sweet spot. Can you see that?
Let it focus. It's hard to see on the on your finger, but yeah, you can kind of see it. Just weird lighting.
Wow, I am super impressed by that result. I am really pleased with how this 4034 has performed. I've chopped through a 17-inch log. It's still shaved. I chopped several times, like 21 times, with water buffalo horn. It's still shaved. I chopped through a small cedar tree, probably about the size of my in my forearm. It wasn't a very big cedar tree, but it was a salt cedar tree. It's still shaved. I hit it 7 times on this antler. No edge deformation. I mean, as far as like, paper cutting, you could tell there's a little bit, but there's no chips, no rolls. And then after the 7 times on the sweet spot, I shaved on the sweet spot. So some people say, oh, you must work for Cold Steel, you must work for GSM. I don't. I find these sort of tests fun. I like to prove people wrong when they go against something that I am seeing for myself. I have never claimed that 4034 is 3V. That's just a lie that has nothing to do with anything that I've said. And I'm hoping that person who's claimed that, they will repent of that, and or I'm hoping they're uninformed, they're exaggerating perhaps, but that is a good result. Yeah, it might be a little expensive, but you can't get another 5/16 inch kukri that's good for salt water, that's good for tropical environments, that's good for high humidity, and it be that tough. And so I'm super impressed with the results of this 4034 kukri. And again, your mileage may vary. Maybe your bias is keeping you from getting it. Maybe your wallet is keeping you from getting this, but it's not a horrible product. It's tough. It will hold an edge. It will resist some watery, humid, salty environments. And I'm very pleased to be the owner of this Gurkha Kukri Plus. You have any comments, Austin?
Yeah, of course, this was before YouTube, but we saw a Semi 3 Trimester fail on deer bone.
How many chops, Austin?
One. One chop.
I literally went boom, and I looked at the edge, and there was a half dime, half nickel, not just a dent, it was a chip.
Yeah, I think it would have been good for batoning, but not for bone.
Yeah, and like, this is abuse.
Yeah, it's abuse.
I mean, like, no one goes around chopping bone.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess maybe like a wet bone, maybe, and maybe you're splitting, or in Texas you got to have the deer head, so maybe there is a practical purpose. But this is antler.
Yeah.
Like, you don't go around chopping
antler.
Yeah,
but my point is, we saw Semi fail, we saw Carbon V fail, and this has been consistently performing with the big boys.
But yeah,
I want one.
And I just bought another one, by the way, for a lot cheaper than what I bought this one. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you can afford it, I highly recommend this 4034 Gurkha Kukri Plus from Cold Steel. Thank you for watching.